Tentatively. Would you tentatively talk to Sam about the funeral arrangements? So this is generally where something has to be very sensitive and very soft when you interact with that individual. Maybe the subject is about layoffs, redundancy, somebody being fired, something like this, or even a funeral. So tentatively. Prudent. It may be prudent to wait until the figures are released. Something that's wise, something smart, something careful, calculated, planned. Prudent. It would be prudent if we waited. It would be prudent if we hold back, hold off. Provisional. Generally like a provisional driving license. Kind of temporary. Usually it's dependent on something else happening and whether or not, for example, you may have a provisional role while somebody maybe is on maternity leave. You may get that role full time, you may not. All right. To lean towards. I'm leaning towards the first applicant. So my initial thoughts, my initial feelings and ideas, you're just putting them out there. I'm leaning towards. So you're not committing. There's no commitment. You're just saying what your feelings are thus far. All right. So you prefer. These aren't necessarily in order, but the bottom few could also be on that side. But to factor in, we must factor in the new costs to add something else in. Oh, we must factor in the fact there's a new member of staff starting on Monday. We must factor in that at the end of the year, we have to give out bonuses. So that needs to be added in, factored into our equations, to our calculations, and to what we're planning now to factor in. Circle back. At an appropriate time, we will circle back to it. Maybe later. Often in British English, this is a very good way of saying, no, I'm not going to do that, or no, I don't want to do that. But it's a polite way of saying, maybe we'll get to it later, but probably not. The British are very good at getting a way of saying something politely and vaguely, where underneath you generally don't want to confront that situation or that person, and so you find a polite way of saying it's going to be rescheduled to another time. There are a few other euphemisms we can talk about in the future. All right. Table. That's kind of the same thing, really. Can we table this discussion until Monday? Again, maybe later. Probably, hopefully you forget about it. But I am saying it politely. But I'm hoping you'll forget. To iron out. All we have to do is iron out the details. Iron out the details. You might have a big contract. You might have a negotiation that's going really well, and there's just a few small little details to figure out later on. This is often a good thing that a bad thing the governments generally do. They just say, oh yeah, we'll iron that out later, when it really could be a very big deal, a very big problem. But they'll just say, oh yeah, we've got a few small details. That's basically them hiding a big problem for later on. Okay. If I may interject. So that's a polite way of saying, if I may interject, I see several flaws. I want to interrupt. I want to maybe add something to this discussion. If I may interject. Often it is actually seem to be very, very polite to say it like this, because you're asking for permission. Please, can I offer something good at this point? Can I offer some help or some other interesting factors to add? All right, so actually this is very polite and this is very nice. I recommend everybody use this phrase, if I may interject. In the politics, English politics, you might hear them say, my right honourable so-and-so, Lord Smythe or whatever. All right, so you're addressing the politeness of the other person. Is very, very, not just polite, but giving validation to the other person, acknowledging that you've heard them. Okay, back to the boardroom. Suboptimal. This quarter's report is suboptimal, hence the new managers meeting. This is kind of another way to say bad. This is suboptimal. Suboptimal is just, it's very bad, but we're playing it politely and we're saying it sensitively because maybe there are other people in the room that you don't want to upset. So suboptimal, pretty bad. Realigned. The company has decided to be realigned with its core vision and changes are afoot. So often this is just corporate jargon to mean some people are going to get sacked. Some people are going to be moved, but lots of people are going to get sacked. There's a problem. Probably there's not enough money coming in. There's financial problems, and maybe there's been an audit and something has been unearthed, something has been found. And so basically people are going to lose their jobs. People are going to get moved around. And when they talk about vision, it's just basically they're not making money. But our changes are afoot. Hope you like that. That's something you hear in Shakespeare's time, or maybe even Sherlock Holmes. The game is afoot, my friend. So, about to begin. About to begin. Okay, discrepancy. Yes, it's normal for a minor discrepancy in such a big document, an error. So that might be the fact that genuinely there is a few small errors because maybe the paralegal or AI or somebody has been involved doesn't have a keen eye for detail. I see this now even in publications, written publications and journals. You see this, published journals. So discrepancies are common. You do see them occasionally. But also it's a case that it might be the fact they're hiding something much bigger. Again, like I said, in regards to the government hiding things. Discrepancies. Things are wrong, things are bad. So it's kind of a polite way as well to say that something is very, very bad. There's not what we agreed on. The contract doesn't align with what we agreed originally, and so it's a polite way of saying there's some discrepancies. Somebody is screwed up. All right. In due course, it will be revealed. In due course, things will come out in the wash. Again, that's an old English phrase. Things will happen. Things will be revealed and come out over time. All right. In due course, when the time is right. Basically, I'm not telling you now. You'll find out later. Again, it's another corporate speak of saying that you don't need to know now, or I don't want to tell you. So in due course, everything will be revealed. Okay, pending a formal investigation. We're waiting until. So that's not just a negative thing. It can be many positive things as well. So my answer, my decision is yes, pending the outcome of the new report, pending the new CEO or the board's agreement. I think it's a great idea and I'd say yes, but we're pending the board review. All right, so it's neither good nor bad. Neither good nor bad. All right, so, okay. With all due respect, I must disagree with that point, as it is conjecture. All right, so again, this is going back to like English politics or English upper class. With all due respect, the Right Honourable Smythe. Again, it's just a polite way of saying, yes, but you're wrong. Yeah, I hear you, but I don't agree with that. Again, it's giving the respect, it's giving validation, and it's a polite way of saying, okay, now I have something to say. Caveat. The only caveat is the sun will be observing. Caveat. Downside. The one thing we need to consider. Maybe it's not worth it. Often a caveat is a small negative or a small downside. In this case, the sun will be observing. The sun. It might be the owner's son. It might be somebody else's son that's high up in the company. And they will be observing. kind of means that they might be telltelling on you. They may be reporting back. Maybe they're, observing everything you do bad and reporting back. And so you better be on your toes, on your tippy toes. On your toes, meaning to be prepared and ready and agile. Okay, play it by ear. When the audit is finished, we will play it by ear. See how it goes. Often when somebody doesn't have a plan or when there's no clear direction to go, play it by ear is a polite way and a safe way of saying, we know it's going to be unusual or different or difficult, but we'll take it as it goes along. We are a strong company and we can play it by ear because that's how we're going to get through. All right, so it's just another way of saying we'll take it a little bit, a step at a time, and we don't see the clear future right now. So again, it can be good or bad. So I call these euphemisms or corporate speak. If you want to hear any more, let me know and we'll do a part 2. That's it for now.